I'm going to be fixing 5 builds my viewers sent in my Discord. I open a channel in my Discord where anyone can send their build and a schematic for a chance to be in a video. So if you want to be in the next one, join my Discord down below or at discord.gg/rowannn with 2 N's. With that stuff out of the way, let's get into the first build and see what I can do. All right, so first up, we got this house behind me. I actually think it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like barn shaped, but it's like bee themed. So it's got a yellow roof, you know, some honey and stuff. I think the part of this that I personally find kind of weak is the roof has just no texturing on it. It's just kind of like pretty boring for roof texture, especially compared to the front, because the front is pretty textured. So yeah, this roof definitely needs some work. By the way, before I edit this build, I just want to say anyone who submitted their builds for this video did it knowing that I would like kind of critique them and edit the builds a bit. So you might not like the build changes, but that's okay. It's kind of the whole point of the video. But yeah, let's get into it. So I want to start. I think I want a frame of some sort on this roof. I think dark oak might be a bit too much contrast. We'll try spruce for now. I'll just kind of see how it works out. I want to try to keep the barn shape though, of course. Something like that, maybe. I'm not sure if I like that this pokes through. Yeah, maybe not. It's a bit bulky looking. I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about this, but I'm not sure. Maybe we could just like add a bit of shape. It's kind of interesting. Actually, the more I like try to shape it, the worse it looks. So I think we just kind of, I actually don't know. I might just slightly change the shape because I like the way this looks. It's kind of like slightly taller archway thing I made looks, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to make it shorter. It's still good. I think I like that shape more, so I'm gonna replace it, I guess. It's literally like a block taller at the top. That's basically it. Yeah, we'll just raise this up. I got a lot of cool ideas for the roof for this, actually. I think will look pretty good. Let's just copy that on this side and see how it looks. I mean, it might look worse than original, honestly, but we'll see. All right, we're getting somewhere, I think. Maybe actually show you what I did, and that's okay. I want to make these windows a bit bigger, by the way. Just, I don't know. That looks way better. Let's get some kind of like details on them. Something like that. Yeah, I think it's already improvement in my opinion, but now it's time for the actual like part, which is texturing this roof. Now it's supposed to be honey themed, right? I'm assuming. And I don't know if the roof itself was actually meant to be honey or just a yellow roof, you know what I mean? But I think that you could do a better job with a honey block palette. So let me get some blocks out real quick. So this is kind of what I have in mind here. It might seem a bit weird. Let me get some honey out as well. It might seem a bit weird for now. I think it'll end up looking pretty good. I wanted to start off with the easiest build for this, but actually this seems way more involved than I thought it would be. So this might not be the shortest one, I don't know. Okay, I'm liking it so far. It looks a bit busy, but I think I could kind of fix that. And now it's time for this, which hopefully will look good, I don't know. All right, what are we working with here? It's not bad. I don't know if I'm a fan of these up here. They kind of have a bit too much height. Maybe we could like carpet or something. I don't really know. For a bit more like 3-dimensional. I kind of like the way this looks. It's kind of weird, but you know, more honey themed, I guess. All right, I think now we got some like work to do down here. It's not like bad or anything. Just like some shape stuff I want to change. I want to get a path in the front, maybe to a fence, some lanterns. It's more like bee related stuff, I think. Bamboo door. All right, I'm liking it. Maybe we can get some like shelves around. It's like a bit of extra like shape stuff. I don't know, I like the way they look. They just kind of have like this kind of like sturdy look to them. So I don't know, just a couple around, but not too many. All right, real quick, I want to like kind of tackle this thing. I get what it's supposed to be. It's like kind of like a sunroom sort of thing for the bees, right? But I think it would look better, kind of more connected and less just glass. So maybe we just kind of get something like this in. I'm not exactly sure yet, but figure it out eventually. All right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Let's get some more honey around because, you know, I removed it earlier. Just a bit of grass around. Get some flowers too. I mean, it's supposed to be a bee thing, right? Like, gotta pollinate something. All right, I think we'll call it for that one. I'm really happy with it. It's not like the greatest thing I ever built or anything, but I think it's a pretty decent improvement over the original. Let me know down below if you agree with me or not. Maybe you actually really disagree with me. That's fine too. But let's move on to the second build for this video. And yeah, hopefully it's a bit easier than this one because it took a minute. All right, next up we got this build. It's kind of interesting. I don't know what I'm really gonna change with it because I think my issues with it are kind of a bit more like fundamental than like that sort of build. Because I'm trying to keep like the spirit of the build intact with these, right? So I'm not exactly sure what I'd do. I'm not the biggest fan of this texturing on the front. I think it's a bit, people overuse this term, but it's a bit block vomity for me personally. I just don't think they blend super well. I'm gonna try to find another block to kind of throw in there that might fit between, but I'm not sure. I honestly think we run with this lighter block palette and get rid of the wood. I think it just clashes too much for me. But like, I might be in the minority on that. I know a lot of people disagree with like my texturing takes, but I think we run with the block palette that's like kind of mushroom and mud and see what happens here. All right, so that's it a bit smoothed out here. Actually done the wrong way. It's supposed to be before, after, but whatever. We got after, before. Anyway, I think I do like it like this more. So that's something. I'm gonna smooth it completely and then I'll go back and I'll texture it, kind of see what we work with there. I want to try to keep the spirit of this build. Clearly the aesthetic was kind of like flatter, so I don't want to like add depth or anything to it really, but we'll see. It's kind of a bit of wear. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I would like to get a terracotta sort of tone in there, but I just don't like the way it looks. I actually don't hate that, really, I don't think. I don't mind that, honestly. I think I didn't like it before because it was kind of messier, and I really don't think this log texture works in here. But I think that's not bad, really. Let's see here if I like it, if I put in more spots or not. I like that. I like that. I think I'm perfectly fine with that, and I think it keeps kind of like some of like the charm of the original house while still like having some different stuff in here. So I think I'm gonna texture like this. Like that looks pretty nice in my opinion. I don't know. Different block palette. I've never built something like this before, but it's looking all right. That looks good to me. Sorry, I'm just kind of recycling the same like 3 sentences right now. I don't know what to say. It's looking good. I think I want to curve these like that. I don't know, just make them door shaped. But yeah, that's texturing for this top part done. Not bad. I will say that's not bad. It's kind of missing this like under trim, which I kind of like. All right, let's see what else we got to do here. Kind of like looking at this in 2 sections. I'm doing the top first for some reason. I don't know. But let's see. I don't know what this window's doing really. I guess just like for a bit of difference in there, I guess, but I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it. I think I want to put one bigger window here. We can stay with mangrove though for a little bit of like a, not the biggest fan. I think spruce will look better there. And this house isn't really overusing spruce. Obviously this is spruce, but it's kind of like a different type of spruce, you know what I mean? Like the log is a completely different color. I think this might look pretty good. That's not bad. I think I prefer spruce for the windows. I just think it blends better with the block palette. That's gate maybe. We'll take that. Then we do something a bit more custom here. Okay, I like that. That's why this top part almost done. Maybe we get a bit of like color in here. Not like too much. We'll go for like kind of more muted tones here to kind of match with the gray. All right, I think I like that for the top. It's not like the most detailed thing ever, but I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So now we gotta get this bottom part. And I don't think there's a whole lot like wrong with it exactly. I don't think. I just think it needs a bit done to it. I want to find a way to separate these somehow. Maybe get like signs. I don't mind the block palette for it. I just think I'm gonna retexture it a bit. I like that. It's kind of like a joining between like the two floors. Gonna do that everywhere here. Alrighty, I think I'm just gonna retexture this. I don't know. It's just like a bit messy looking. I think I'm gonna go for like similar blocks though, if not the exact same blocks. Maybe go a bit darker. I'm not the biggest fan of the basalt in there. I don't think. I think something like this just looks kind of more like elegant looking. I guess it's just a bit smoother. I guess is what I'm trying to get at here. All right, let's get a couple more like spruce details around, and I think we're done here. Like I don't like how like this looks a bit. I mean, I'm sure it's meant to look kind of rickety, right? Like that's fine. Obviously, nothing wrong with that, but maybe just a bit more like stuff going on here. Like yeah, something like that. Not sure what would look good as a window here. Could just do what it was before, which was trapdoors. I don't really want to use glass here. Just didn't feel like it would fit with the theme of the house. That's not bad. Can I fit any lanterns anywhere? Not really. I'm calling it that. I actually really like the way this looks. This is the before over here. Just a bit too messy for my personal liking, and I kind of just smoothed out the texturing, kept some of the weird blocks in there though, but I'm really happy with it. I actually like this way more than I thought I would. I wasn't sure I was gonna like this house at all, but yeah, it's fire. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next we got this build here. Honestly, like not a whole lot specifically to change. I think if you like this build, you like this build. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's kind of just like a pretty simple like medieval style house. There's a couple things I don't like though. I think there's too much spruce. Usually if you have a house with a frame, like I guess like this, I mean I don't need to build an example, it's right here. You generally don't want this kind of like block to be the same as one behind it because it just blends in a bit too much. So I think if we put some dark oak here instead, yeah, let's kind of like pop out a bit more. I like it because yeah, just too much spruce. So I'm gonna go through and just kind of replace this, and I think we'll redo the roof gradient. And I think I'm gonna call it on this one. Like we're not getting anything too crazy here. This window is also just too small. All right, let's look at that here. All right, let's just also get some light gray. It just kind of adds a bit more like something there, you know what I mean? Like if it's glass, you just see straight through it. You know what I mean? It may as well not be there. At least personally, I guess, personal preference. And then I think I want to use some shelves on the bottom here. Just kind of make it look a bit like, yeah, it looks good. More like structural, you know? All right, it's already better in my opinion. I don't really like when there's details on like the bottom part. Like it just kind of makes it look Like there's too much, you know what I mean? You put like a flower pot here, you could put like fences maybe, you know what I mean? To kind of make it look more like destroyed, I guess. But I don't like when it has like the curve on like every side of it, because it just looks it kind of looks over detailed to me. Like there's too much going on, you know? All right, we're getting there. All right, let's get a bunch of flowers in, because I put all these flower pots in and it's kind of no flowers. So let's do that real quick. All right, fire. We're getting there. I think down here I want just a bit of shape. It's not bad. Just kind of fill this space out. Add a support here, just kind of break it up, and then it's easier to detail, of course. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Get the shelves down there, of course. Adds like a nice like kind of archway shape. All right, the house itself is looking pretty good right now, like as like a kind of a base, you know what I mean? But there's still some work to do. I'm not exactly sure what to do next though. All right, I think I want to take this staircase thing out. I'm not a fan. It just doesn't really work. So we're just gonna rebuild this, and we're gonna make it turn somewhere probably, so the stairs look a bit more natural, I think. Okay, let's see where we can make a staircase go that kind of feels a bit more natural. I think something like this might work. Could you kind of bring this hill up a bit? Yeah, I think that'll work. Just gotta kind of bring everything up together in like one spot. I think if you just turn the stairs a bit, it adds just like a way better sort of shape here. Because like before, it just went straight down until the ground. But here, it kind of feels more well thought out, I guess. It's gonna be a lot of dark oak here, by the way, but I think it'll look fine. We could do like shelf railings. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, that's fine, I think. I think we're almost done here, even if it doesn't look like it. I think we just gotta do the roof, because I wanted to redo the grading on it, because I'm not the biggest fan of the current sort of grading that's up there. But I just felt like we had to get some of this stuff done first before going up there to the roof. Also, not a fan of this round door, honestly. Let's see what else we could figure out here. Probably just a normal door shape. Make it around the top, but it just kind of doesn't look right in this space. It's not like tall enough. So I think what we do instead is that we just kind of have a door here. Something like that. We could even put a window here. Put another flower pot here, maybe. All right, it's not bad. It's not the greatest thing ever or anything, but I think it's a pretty solid improvement. Just a bit more contrast, a bit more color in there. And now let's do this roof. Let's see what we can get going here. I mean, maybe it wasn't too far off. It just might not be built in the best sort of way. And I'm not a fan of the, I don't know if that's red glazed terracotta or black glaze. I think it's red. No, it's definitely black, actually, never mind. I'm just not the biggest fan of that in that block palette or the soul sand, really. But I feel like this is workable. The red to gray is kind of tough, though. I definitely see why the builder chose the terracotta, because it's kind of a weird blend. I don't see how I get any closer than this. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan, but I think I'm gonna have to go for something like this. I don't even know if we have enough blocks to work with here. We have 8 blocks to work with. This is taller than that. But I guess we don't need this block in here, because it's not really in there. So let's see, 2, 4, 6. We can make this fit. It's a custom gradient, bro. That's crazy. I think it works. It's not amazing. It kind of feels more like gray with like the other 2 colors kind of just there. I think it's an improvement over the original. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to replace the whole roof with that, and then I'm going to call it for this build. All right, well, that's what I'm gonna call this build. I think I did improve it a pretty decent amount if we get the side by side here. It's not perfect. I just add a bit more contrast, got a bit more color on the roof, all that. I changed the roof spikes because I'm not the biggest fan of how tall they were before. Let's move on to the next build, and hopefully it's a bit easier because it's taking a minute, you know? All right, next up we got this build here. It's kind of interesting. I like this like kind of like archway, sort of like path, tunnel thing. Sorry, I don't know what to call it. But a few things that changed. Again, just like the last, I don't know if it was the last, no, it was the last one. It was like just like the like honey one. The roof is a bit flat looking. Could use a bit of texturing work, that kind of stuff. Maybe some more like foliage around. I'm gonna make a custom tree here. Yeah, it's interesting. I like the idea of it. I just think it could use some work. Okay, let's figure out what we're doing with the roof first. I guess we'll try to keep the shape, kinda. I don't know if I like the shape or not. Shape is just a bit off in my opinion. So I think I'm gonna just change the shape completely, which I know isn't really the point, but I think we're gonna do that. So I'll just completely remove the roof here, and we'll do, let's see here. I think we'll do a point, which I know, again, not the original shape, but whatever. I think it'll look good. All right, I like the shape. Obviously, this looks stupid right now because it's like empty. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a dormer here, something like that. I'm gonna go up a few. Let's see how this comes up here. Something like this maybe. We could line up the same way, I guess. I think we lower this a block. So yeah, something like that. Just fill us in, I guess. Just got a flower pot here. All right, I like that. I just think it makes the shape a bit more unique. I don't know if you could, you could probably argue it doesn't fit the original build that much, but whatever, looks good to me. Let's kind of just go around here and change some of these windows a bit now, because I'm just not really a fan. I don't know how to explain what my problem is here. Like, this almost needs an extra block of height on this layer, you know what I mean? Like, let me just do that real quick. Let's see what it looks like. Shout out World Edit. No, I'm not using Axiom. And yeah, there we go. It's just way better immediately. Everything's just way less smushed. We have a whole extra block to play with here, and it just looks way better, in my opinion, at least. But I'm actually liking this a lot already. Obviously, it's a big change to the whole build, like the roof and the height, but I like it. I don't know if I even want to texture this. I think it actually looks really good, like flat. Surprisingly, I think the shape we added kind of helped. But what would I texture this if I were to texture it? I think just a little bit of wool at the bottom where there would be like a shadow. That's probably all I'll do for texturing on this. I just like the way it looks. I don't know. I think that looks good. Just super light texturing on it. Maybe we do a bit up here. I like that. Just a bit of really subtle, like gray texturing, just for a bit of difference. I like the way it looks. I think what I'm gonna do now is get some lanterns around, some flowers around, maybe some like foliage, and then we'll go over to this side here. All right, it's not bad at all. Real quick, very important build trick if you're ever building like anything. Don't do this, okay? Make sure you change the block under the block if there's path there, because it looks really bad. And that just looks way better. And now you gotta subscribe. Now that you listen to that build tip, that's crazy. Anyway, where are we at here? This thing. I think first I'm gonna make a custom tree here. That's like a bit better than this one. No offense. I'm not the best at building custom trees, but I don't know, give it a shot. All right, I built this tree before. I'm just pasting it here. Right? I built this like from a video from like a week ago. All right, like it's whatever. Anyway, I'm liking it. I'm pretty happy with this build just in general. I think we're almost done. I'm not sure what else to really do. Just gonna go around adding a few small details. I'm probably gonna call it. The staircase could probably use a redo. Oh my god. I didn't even build this, by the way. It's already here. I didn't realize that. Shout out to the builder of this one. I feel bad. I didn't shout out the builders for these builds, but I'll put them on screen probably at the beginning. But yeah, shout out to the goat who built this. Paco, I guess. You're the goat. But yeah, I'm gonna call it like that for this build. I like the changes I made. Just kind of made the roof a bit like, a lot taller. Changed the tree out. Did some weird stuff with the staircase, redid the path and the leaves and that kind of stuff. But yeah, solid build. It was an interesting concept before, but just kind of put my own spin on it. But yeah, let's move on to the final build for this video. All right, so finally we're at this house. I don't really know what I'm gonna do to like change this house. I'm not like, there's nothing like wrong with it, like inherently, I guess, but I'm not personally the biggest fan of a few things about it. I don't particularly like the oak block palette for the roof. And I could texture this, which I will do, but not sure if I like this or not. I might just kind of do this, then I'm gonna fix it. But yeah, there's just a few things about this build that I'm not sure what I'm gonna change, because I want to keep the original spirit of the build, so I got to keep oak for the roof, but I don't know how I'm gonna make that look, at least like a way I like. So we're gonna give it a shot though. Not everything copied from the screenshot that I was sent for this build, by the way, because seemingly the builder is using a mod or a resource pack, but I'm assuming it has to be a mod if stuff wouldn't copy. But yeah, it's missing a few blocks here and there, but we'll make it work. I think the first thing I want to do, I actually don't know, never mind. Maybe replace these with spruce. I think oak for the roof is enough. I don't think we need oak for the supports. Like, wow, for the frame, my bad. I think oak for the roof is enough. So yeah, we'll do that real quick. Okay, now we figure out what to do here. I think I want a dormer here, which will look weird with the chimney. We could always move the chimney, I guess. Something like that, of course. We'll fill in with oak, I guess. I don't really have an option, because again, trying to keep the original theme. I don't like this spruce, by the way, here. It just kind of doesn't look great. So I'm gonna just get rid of that. Well, there's a window on the back side here, too. Yeah, I kind of got my work cut out for me here. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this build. We'll figure it out. This roof shape is just kind of odd. I'm not sure how to fix it, but I want to try to respect the shape it has here, so I don't want to change it outright. So it's kind of putting me in a weird spot. I think I'm gonna get rid of these like support details on the sides. I can always add them back later. I just need like a blank slate here to kind of just see what I'm working with. All right, so we kind of remove most of the details here to get like a blank slate look at this, and I'm just not sure what to do. I could, like realistically, I could just make a really nice, like standard shape here. One second. And it would look beautiful. You know what I mean? It'd be classic, but that's just not the shape that I have, and I kind of wanted to keep the original shape, but like, it's a bit weird, but I think I can make it work. So we're gonna hold off on making it a medieval fantasy house in the same way I usually do it. First off, I wanna make these line up with this. I think it'll just look better. I don't know. Maybe you disagree, that's fine. How do I do the top of this? Maybe it's just a slab. This is very salvageable. Like, I don't wanna act like this is not fixable. It's like a lot of work. That's not bad. Kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, like a pillowed shape, sort of. Not the biggest fan of a lot of things here, actually, in retrospect. I don't really like this window. I'm gonna, I think, just make the same dormer I did on the other side over here. Or just like copy it with World Edit, Shadow World Edit. Because yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of that. Okay, I think we're making a lot of progress here. I think once I texture the white parts, add some lanterns, flowers, trapdoors, you know, fence gates, fences, all that, like just those general details to this main part, I think it'll actually look pretty good. So we're just gonna get started by getting like calcite out, white wool, and yeah, concrete powder, and maybe a bit of dye, right? Why not? I don't know if I'll use these or not, but we'll get them out. All right, that took forever. Let's get flower pots in. If I could type, I'd be sick. Yeah, let's get flower pots in, and then I think, I don't know how much more of this I got in me, I'm not gonna lie. All right, I think I'm happy with that. I think it's a pretty objective improvement, but maybe I didn't go far enough. I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty happy with it though. Overall, banger video in my opinion. You know, let me know down below if you enjoyed. Consider subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. Join the Discord, join the Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And of course, shout out to my patrons Aelic, ThaMango, Luke T007, Tommi, Natural High, and of course Sai.